Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports on Spreaker. You can also find this and all other episodes of Taylor's Detroit Sports on iHeartRadio. If you have any opinions on everything that's going on in the Detroit sports world, call in or send a text message live on the show at 231-429-3668. That's 231-429-3668. Also, you can add me on Facebook as Taylor Phillips, online at facebook.com/Phil1DT. Like my Facebook page, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports page. Join my Facebook group, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports Group, and follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips. And this is episode 111, streaming live on Spreaker and on iHeartRadio. I am Taylor Phillips. Welcome to this broadcast. I'm gonna recap Lions, Red Wings, and Pistons. That's all I'm gonna do for today. Lions get a 34 to 17 victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The same exact score they beat the Chicago Bears on Thanksgiving Day. Lions had the lead. It was scoreless for at least a few minutes, but the Lions, after the Lions went for it on 4th and 1 and didn't get that yard, they forced the Bucs to punt, and then the Lions scored first with a touchdown. Matthew Stafford, their quarterback, completed 26 of 34 passes for 311 yards and 3 touchdowns. His passer rating was 133.3. It was the first time since the end of the 2011 season that Stafford has gone back-to-back games plus rating of 100, back-to-back games with a passer rating of 100 plus. His passer rating was 116 flat on Thanksgiving, when he also completed more than 75% of his passes and had 2 touchdowns and no interceptions in a win over the Bears. As Tim Twentyman recaps on DetroitLions.com. His favorite target Sunday was receiver Calvin Megatron Johnson, who caught 10 passes for 159 yards. And the first score of the game, a 6-yard fade route in the back of the end zone with both feet down. Sunday was this Sunday, which was today, was the 43rd 100-yard game of Johnson's career, tied for 12th all-time. And the 20th time in his career he's had 100-yard performances in consecutive games. Lions running back Joyce Bell finished with 18 carries for 83 yards and 2 touchdowns. On 4.6 average yards per carry. To pace the Lions' rushing attack, Detroit's number 1 scoring defense had another solid outing. Buccaneers quarterback Josh McCown was sacked six times. And under countless pressure the entire game. The Lions defense entered the game number 1 in scoring with 17.3, and number 2 in total yards allowed, 300.9. The Bucs managed just 17 points and 233 total yards. The 2 touchdowns on the day by the Bucs were aided Their first came right at the end of the first half and was helped along with by 2 Lions personal foul penalties and a fumbled interception by safety James Ahedebo at the 10-yard line when he could have kneeled down in the end zone for a touchback to preserve what would have been a 17-3 halftime lead for the Lions. Early in the fourth quarter the second touchdown for Tampa Bay was early in the fourth quarter was aided by a questionable 24-yard pass interference penalty by cornerback Darius Slay. But it wasn't that horrible of a call. There was contact as I listened to it on the radio at work earlier today. When the Lions weren't helping the Bucs out, they had no answer for Detroit's defense. The Lions also won the turnover battle 3-1. That's what happened. What didn't happen was at times the Lions didn't play disciplined football. They had a couple personal foul penalties on Ndamukong Suh and Jason Jones that led to a Bucs touchdown, as well as some crucial pass interference calls on Darius Slay on deep balls. The Lions finished with 9 penalties for 122 yards, and Tim Twentyman says that's way too many. Well, I think that's a bit too many, but the Lions at other points did play some disciplined football, and others they didn't. Put it this way. The Lions have their ups and downs in terms of discipline. At the critical moment here, leading 7-3 early in the second quarter, Tampa Bay was looking at a 3rd and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Bucs quarterback Josh McCown threw to the left sideline in hopes of connecting with his big rookie receiver Mike Evans for a touchdown. McCown's pass was too high for him. Evans is 6'5" tall. And in the right place to make a sliding one-handed interception was Lions safety Glover Quinn. It was his 5th interception of the season, which is the most for a Lions safety since Kurt Schultz had 5 interceptions in 2000. The offense capitalized on the Quinn interception 8 plays later when Joyke Bell took it into the house from just a yard out. The key stat, 1.9. The Lions' number 1 rushing defense was at it again Sunday. They entered the game allowing a league low 65.9 yards per game. The Bucs had just 26 rushing yards on 14 carries for an average of just 1.9 yards per carry. Key stat number 2 and 6. The Lions got to McCown 6 times and pressured and hit him nearly the entire game. The veteran could never get into a rhythm because of the pressure and finished 20 of 39 passing for 250 yards with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. The play of the game, leading 27-17 and looking to put the game out of reach with a touchdown, Bell came to the rescue. Stafford had a pass intended for Johnson tipped at the line of scrimmage. The ball popped in the air right into the hands of Bell, who took it 5 yards for a touchdown. Player of the game, Matthew Stafford, at quarterback. For the second week in a row, Stafford played in a game where he completed over 75% of his passes, 26 of 34. He had 311 yards and 3 touchdown passes and no interceptions. Nearly had one or a couple. His passer rating was 133.3, as mentioned earlier in this article. See, those penalties that the Lions committed, at least some of them were, at least some of them made the game, some of them helped make the game more interesting. They helped the Bucs get back into it a couple times. The Bucs scored 2 touchdowns, if you do the math. But Matthew Stafford and his Lions offense kept the momentum going. The offensive line still needed at least a bit of work. The offensive line was off to a very slow start. At first they couldn't even help Joyce Bell get that 1 yard needed on 4th down on the first drive of the game. But since Calvin Johnson got that first touchdown reception, the offensive line got it going. Stafford was sacked at least a couple times, but he stayed patient. Eric Ebron made a key catch on one of the key drives of the game. And Ndamukong Suh also got a sack on Josh McCown. And DeAndre Levy also got 2 sacks on Josh McCown. George Johnson also got one of his own. The Bucs got into a bit of penalty trouble as well late in the game. Their first came on their first penalty came right after their first touchdown of the game. That was scored right before halftime with under 9 seconds left in the second quarter. Both teams had some very undisciplined moments in this contest. But anyway, with the win, the Lions now improved to 9-4. They welcome in the Minnesota Vikings at 4:25. Originally scheduled at 1. Now 4:25, still on your local Fox television affiliate and on 97.1 The Ticket, WXYT FM in Southfield and in the greater Detroit area, and all the other Detroit Lions radio network affiliates. like 107.1 WCKC FM in Cadillac and 98.1 WGFN FM in Glen Arbor and Traverse City. Classic Rock the Bear. Z93, the rock station, and WKQZ FM 93.3 in Midland, Saginaw, and Bay City. 100.3 FM WQON in Roscommon, a part of Blarney Stone Broadcasting. Also the home of Michigan Wolverines Athletics. So the Lions will have to step up their game a notch or two when they welcome in the Minnesota Vikings. They beat the Jets in overtime 30-24 earlier today. About the same time the Lions beat the Buccaneers. That was in Minnesota. They took on a Jets team that is really struggling. A month ago, they only had 2 wins when they got thrashed by the Bills at Ford Field. The Vikings are in for a much tougher task than they were at TCF Bank Stadium against the Lions. Stafford and the Lions offense still has the type of momentum that they relighted back up when they played the Bears starting in the second quarter on Thanksgiving Thursday. The Bucs secondary passing defense broke up a few passes. There was only one inaccurate pass from Matthew Stafford intended for Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush, I think really struggled in the running game. Poor decision making by Reggie Bush. He said he was 100%, but I guess he lied. I guess that he lied to the media earlier the past week. The Lions will need Reggie Bush to start making more correct decisions and step up his game. Reggie Bush did have a very nice long run up the middle. To put to fuel their final drive of the game. When I thought that the plan was to wind down some clock with about 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, up by 10 points. And really the plan was actually to put the dagger in the heart of the Buccaneers with another touchdown, which they did. George Bell caught a tipped pass and at the original line of scrimmage from the 5-yard line and took it into the end zone. And the score was 34-17, including the good extra point by Prater. Prater was 2 for 2 in field goals, one from 46 yards out. The first of those was 46 yards out. The second one was about half as long. But the Lions are going to have to clean up those mistakes and play more disciplined football than they did today. They got the Vikings, who are still digging for a playoff spot. They're now 6-7. The Bears. Let me check the Bears here. The Lions have the Bears after the Vikings. They take on the Bears on the road. They beat them 34-17 at home on Thanksgiving Thursday. That's still loading. Okay. All scores. By the way, the Packers take on the Falcons tomorrow night at 8:30 on ESPN. Chargers lead the Patriots 14-13 on NBC Sunday Night Football. Third quarter, 8:21 left. The Bears already got thrashed by the Cowboys 41-28. The Bears are 5-8. So whether it's at home or on the road, the Lions have a bit of an easier task, a little bit of an easier task against task in Chicago 2 weeks from now, before their biggest test on the final regular season of the game at Lambeau Field. Their main goal is to beat the Packers right now at Lambeau Field for the first time since 1991. And if they stay focused and keep playing disciplined football, more disciplined football, and if their offense keeps their momentum going throughout the entire season, and at Lambeau Field especially, then the Lions will beat the Packers 31-13. I'm going to go 34-13. The Lions own the Packers like 19-7. In week 3. I mean, there's no other team with a better defense than the Lions this year. You just have to hand it to defensive coordinator Terrell Austin. He's done such an excellent job reading the quarterbacks, each quarterback's doings and each opposing offensive play, reading all the plays well, and stuff like that. Now let's go on to the Red Wings. An almost easy game in Carolina as they beat the Hurricanes 3-1 in Raleigh. Tomas Tatar got 2 goals. Pavel Datsyuk got a goal and 2 assists. Jonathan Erickson and Darren Helm. And Kyle Quincy also got an assist. So did Johan Franzen, and that was it. Peter Mrazek, the current backup goaltender, started in net for Jimmy Howard because the Wings were playing back-to-back games. Made 34 saves on 35 shots on goal. Cam Ward made 19 saves on 22 shots. Face-offs were pretty much even, 28-25. The Wings out-hit the Hurricanes 21-12. Neither team scored on the power play. The Wings over 3, the Hurricanes over 4. 3 stars of the game. Star number 3, Peter Mrazek. Star number 2, Tomas Tatar. And star number 1, Pavel Datsyuk. I mean, the Hurricanes just could not score a goal. They got their only goal on Tim Gleason's tip past Mrazek from Jamie McClement. Jay McClement. Actually, Jay McClement got the tip, and Tim Gleason got the assist. McClement's first goal of the season. But it wasn't enough as the Wings held on easily 3-1. Let's check out their schedule here. They are off until Wednesday night at 8 on NBCSN. When they return home to Joe Louis Arena and play the Toronto Maple Leafs. There is no preview for that. I will give you that Tuesday night on episode 112. And now to the Pistons. They fight harder, but still lose 96-94 to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I still thought it was going to be another loss. Pistons dropped to 3-18, still on pace to finish 3-79 on the season. The Thunder out-rebounded the Pistons in this game. Kevin Durant scored 28 points for OKC at the Palace. Thunder out-rebounded the Pistons 26-11 in the second half. And they scored 14 second chance points after halftime. With that loss, the Pistons lose 12 in a row. I don't even need to bother telling you the Pistons player stats. I'll bet all you Pistons fans are too frustrated to hear such a thing right now. They almost gave up 100 points, not quite, but still found another way to lose. Pistons play the Portland Trail Blazers at 7:30. The Portland Trail Blazers are in third place at 15-4, a tie for third place with the Memphis Grizzlies. 2 games back of the Golden State Warriors, who are 17-2. And by the division, the Blazers lead the Northwest Division, 6 games ahead of the Denver Nuggets who are at 9-10. The Thunder now improved to 6-13 with their win. The Thunder are also struggling, but the Pistons are worse. They are dead last in the Central Division, still one game ahead of the Philadelphia 76ers. They lost today too. The Pistons are just just wasting no time trying to get their number 1 or number 2 draft pick. The Lakers are 5-15. The Timberwolves are 4-15. As I look way ahead to the 2015 NBA offseason. So that's about it. I got to get ready for my Blog Talk Radio podcast for December 7th, 2014 at 11 p.m. Eastern. That's a 30-minute episode. So until Tuesday night on episode 112, this is Taylor Phillips saying TTFN ta-ta for now. Thanks for downloading and listening to episode 111 on Taylor's Detroit Sports on Spreaker and on iHeartRadio.